Alright, if you've been following this channel, you know I'm a Lafreniere guy. Watched a ton of him in the queue, was pretty stoked to see him get drafted to an Original 6 franchise that honestly, I thought he would have no problem developing into a star with relatively quickly. Now of course, that last part didn't happen. It was a struggle for the first couple of years for 13 with the Rangers. I'm sure we all remember the fourth line, the healthy scratches, the trade rumors, and of course, is Lafreniere a bust? Wasn't easy for the guy, and coming out of entry level, he signed a 2-year bridge deal that I think was a prove-it deal. The guy was only 21. I don't think the Rangers were ready to give up on him or anything, but I definitely do think it was a, hey, show us what you are. Are you expendable like a middle 6 producer? Are you top 6? Or are you a top player? And he responded with a breakout year. 28 goals, 57 points, played in all 82 games. It not only showed that he can be relied upon in a top 6 role, but that his development hadn't stagnated. He just needed a bit more time than some of the young superstar first overall picks we see in today's game. Now, some of you might be looking at these numbers and thinking, those are good numbers, but they're not I've arrived numbers. And that's totally fair. That's why I said this about him heading into the playoffs last year. What I'm most fascinated to see from him now, though, is what does he do in the playoffs here? He's already got a couple playoff runs under his belt, but this is the big one here. He's a top 6 player on a Stanley Cup contending Rangers team that had a disappointing playoff outing last year. Will he step up? This is going to be huge in the development of Alexis Lafreniere. The thing is, though, he didn't just have a good playoffs. He stood out and stepped up during the playoffs, a lot of times more than some of the guys who were expected to carry the mail for this team on a deep Eastern Conference final run. That was really when you started seeing more people say, oh yeah, you can build around this guy, build around him and Shesterkin. Now, don't worry, Lafreniere truthers, I see you. There are people who've been saying that even through the hard times. They were just saying, give him time, he's a building block, don't give up on him. But the playoffs is when all that bust talk was finally put to bed, and a lot more people, including a lot of doubters, started to really see him as, oh, okay, he can be one of the main courses on this Rangers lineup. He started getting some buzz about playing for Team Canada, and most importantly for Rangers fans, word has it that there's apparently a massive extension in the works for him. No more prove-it deals. But I think coming into this year, he's an even more interesting player than he was last year. Because if last season was the breakout year, what's this year? Getting a crack on the top line with Panarin and Trocheck, you just knew this guy was going to get plenty of opportunity to show that he's a top player. And so far, he's made the most of it. Yes, Panarin's gone bananas with 12 points in 5 games. As of this recording, that leads the league. But Lafreniere's taken a step here. He's been super dynamic. That toe drag was disgusting. Then he goes and absolutely missiles one against Detroit. And at this point now, it's like, all right, he's carried over the momentum from last year's season and playoffs. Is Rimouski Lafreniere here? Like, he's probably not going to put up the numbers that he did in the queue, but that type of confidence and ability, the player the Rangers thought they were getting in 2020 when they drafted him, he's meshed really well with Panarin and Trocheck to create just a lights out first line. Are we ready to say it? Can we call him a star? I know for some people it's like, whoa, let's wait until he puts up 75 points, or for some people it's 30 goals. And I totally get that, especially given his body of work as a whole in the NHL. And admittedly, star might even be a little premature, but at the very least, I think we can say he's arrived. And I could definitely see this being his and Shesterkin's team in the not too distant future. I think this is the year he cements himself as a star in this league. But I want to hear from you, Ranger fans, and honestly, mostly fans from other fan bases too. Looking at it from another market's perspective, what do you think of this player? Maybe you think he's overhyped and he's not going to be a star, or he already is one. Let me know. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. You're awesome. Only one game on the docket tonight, Tampa and Toronto. You can catch that one on Prime. It's a light night, but tomorrow it's raining games. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.